Everyone spends countless hours and money trying to lose weight, right? But it's a never-ending battle where there are always more questions than answers.
Dr. Mehmet Oz, the host of the Dr. Oz Show, appropriately enough, is here to answer your toughest weight loss questions. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, these are the top 5 questions people seem to ask. And the first one is, you can figure out how much weight you should lose and can lose based on your blood type, right?
Well, it's really about what you should eat in order to lose weight. And, you know,
Right.
to give the number specifically, 2/3 of Americans have a problem with weight, either overweight or obese. And if you dive down into our blood types, there are 3 types. There's type O, which is the oldest blood type. Those folks, in theory, would be eating a lot of proteins, meat being a good source, because that's what the cavemen had access to.
Sure.
A, which is the second most common blood type, is for agrarian meals. A lot of Northern Europeans have blood type A. They would eat a lot of grains, and they tolerate them well.
Sure.
And then the Bs, Asiatics, folks from that part of the world would, because they're nomadic by nature, historically, would be eating a lot of low-fat dairy and the like. Now, that's the theory.
Right.
And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of folks might say, well, you know what, that's how I should figure out what I'm supposed to eat. It should be a low-fat diet or a low-carb diet. The reality is we don't have any evidence that this makes a big difference.
Very interesting.
But we do know that some folks do much, much better if they eat a primarily meat-based or protein-based diet and cut their carbs down.
All right, so what's the best way to lose fat and not the muscle? Some people are concerned about that.
Well, you got to build muscle to build, in order to be part of this equation. So that means doing some things that build a little bit of weight-bearing exercise. And a lot of women don't do this once they get past the age of 30 or 40. In fact, they stop doing it when they grow up.
Sure.
But you got to do things like squats and push-ups, simple things. You don't have to do a lot of them. Even a half an hour a week would do it, but it builds some muscle mass. What you don't want to do is drink sugary soda while you're exercising.
And you just touched on sugary soda. How can you stop sugar cravings? Because when people are on a diet, they want something sweet.
They love it. Spices work. It's a replacement. It tantalizes your mouth.
What do you mean?
Well, you could have cinnamon, frankly, any spice, even pepper would work as something else that gives you that hedonistic feedback to your tongue. Your tongue wants to be excited. It wants to be joyous. And if you're giving yourself sugar, that does it. But sugar is very addictive, which is why we need to cut back on that. And the other thing is, a lot of people like to snack. Forget the snacks from now on. Instead, eat small meals. You can eat lots of small meals all day long, but snacks nail you because they're often high in carbohydrates.
All right, so this is a big question. People wonder, when they get older especially, they start accumulating the belly fat.
Yeah.
Got any tips about that?
A big tip. This is a lot about hormones, and it's about cortisol in particular. You know what? When I look at someone who's got belly fat, I see someone who's stressed out and is not able to cope with it. When you have chronic stress in your life, you elevate your cortisol levels. What is cortisol? Cortisol is a hormone that your ancestors secreted 1,000 years ago when they had chronic stress, which was famine. So your body thinks you're starving. So you will store fat in the waist area in order to avoid dying of a famine, and that's what your body naturally will do. So deal with the stress in your life, and you will naturally melt away some of the belly fat.
Right. Final question regarding belly fat. What foods add to belly fat and which ones burn belly fat?
Inflammatory foods build it. Sugar is one of those, by the way. Packaged products, sugary drinks, and the like. Things that melt away your belly fat include healthy fats like avocados, but also you want to focus on things like green teas that have natural chemicals in them that satiate you and please you. That'll be the message for today. Put green tea in your life. And tomorrow, I'm doing all of these questions and tons more on the show just to get people to understand how easy it can be to melt away the fat.
All right, and on Thursday, I believe it is, you're doing Women Coming Home from War?
I'm so proud of the show. It's a historic moment in our nation. We have women fighting on the front lines, and when they come back here, how do they get acclimated? And I went out and visited some homeless women who were U.S. veterans. I want to understand what's going on in their lives. It's earth-changing for me.
All right. Well, it was great to see you, Dr. Oz. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Thanks for making a couch call.